Mentoring is rooted in relationship. A more experienced person with a person with lesser experience, all for the purpose of assisting that individual with development. We often think older with younger, but also it's younger with older, as well as peer-to-peer. It can be both formal and informal, for long periods of time, short, or even one day. Whatever the form, it is real that a mentor is said to be worth more than gold. We are pleased today to have these three friends with us to just share in their experience what mentoring has meant to them. We have Sharon Davis, member of Oakdale Covenant Church here in Chicago. Sharon is a person who retired and refired. Sharon went out on the mission field to Cameroon as a consecrated missionary, and now is in Jackson, Mississippi, serving to connect local churches to local outreach ministries. Alan Forsman resides in Sarasota, Florida, provides leadership training and consulting throughout the country, helped to launch Crescendo and continues to serve on the Crescendo leadership team. Lynda Delgado, a resident of Covenant Living of Mount McGill in San Diego, is engaged in a wide variety of ministries, including serving as a Crescendo coach in the Pacific Southwest Conference. Each of these individuals have been involved in mentoring. So tell me first, when and how did you get engaged in mentoring? Sharon?
Well, I had to ponder that because mentoring, I didn't think of it, what I was doing and the models that I had. So I grew up in an all-Black neighborhood in Chicago. Everybody owned a home. So I had all walks of people there, and they all cared about all of the kids in the neighborhood and our futures. And so they were mentoring us. But then I had to think of something more recent. So I'm going to take Cameroon. When I went to Cameroon, I was only to be there 2 years. And Pastor Griffin said, Sister Sharon, you need to go there and find your replacement. And only a short time after I got there, I did. Her name is Blessing. And Blessing was a new college graduate. And Blessing, over time, has taken over that ministry. 2017, it was official that she took over. And we called it Passing on the Gift, because we felt that God has given everyone a gift. And so how do you do this? And how do you do that? And that's mentoring. So I guess you gave me a name for it, mentoring.
I like that. I kind of feel the same way. I didn't realize when I was asked to do this, I hadn't thought about it. I thought, no, I haven't studied the book yet and done it. And so I thought of it more in a formal sense. But as I look back on it now, I realize that my first mentors were my mother and my grandmother, who had women of strong faith, and passed that on to me. In a formal setting, as a young married wife, I joined a women's Bible study and was mentored in a more formal relationship with my peer, or my age anyway, but she was far ahead of me in a formal kind of relationship and guiding me. And she was with the Navigators, and so I learned a lot through her. And then going overseas, I was hungry to find out how to do this. We had never been overseas, never lived outside of Arizona, and so I was hungry. Many years spent looking for mentors. Missionaries were my mentors there in Ecuador. And now looking back on my life, I realize that I have been a mentor because of coming alongside others. And when I've been addressed as a mentor, it kind of threw me by surprise. but just walking together with people along our path and taking their lives and importance of their life value. And so mentoring and walking with them.
In a similar fashion, I didn't realize I was a mentor until I heard someone say that publicly. And it began a thought process, much of which has been said, just to be able to, and willing, I guess, to walk alongside someone through all the changes in life. Choice of college, choice of a job, where to live, how to serve. I think that I'm a bit curious by nature, so I like to ask questions. I really am interested in people and how are they and what are they up to? And then I've trained myself to listen. I hope I have, and it seems as though I've made a little progress in that department, but also the willingness to be present in someone else's life. In today's world, I think that's really the greatest gift that we can give someone.
Tell me, as I'm listening to you, now that you're engaged in mentoring yourself, what's one benefit that you've had in that relationship? Lynda?
Oh, I think the joy of the relationship, but the joy and actually the awesome revelation of seeing God at work in those relationships. And for me, it reminds me of when we were just doing this grandparenting study. Our grandchildren are saying, see me, know me, and share life with me. And that's actually what we cry out to God. Please see us. And he knows us and he walks constantly with us. And so I feel like being able to be in that journey where you experience it and you can share it with someone else. And that is just a tremendous joy.
Sharon?
The
As you
word
think
is-
about blessing,
when I think about blessing right now is in a PhD program.
oh,
And it is because of others that are helping her with her school tuition. It's amazing. She was the first in her class of the masters. They just started a program and she didn't know how she was going to get in. I told some of her aunties and uncles here, and we were able to fund her education. And then a few months ago, they started a PhD program. She's in public health, and she just finished her courses. And every couple of days, she'll say, Auntie, she calls me Auntie, thank you so much. You're such a blessing to me, my other aunties and uncles. So I see it, and it's joy, just pure joy that, and it's not just for her. She's in her country. It's not going to be a brain drain. She's not leaving. And so she is going to pass on what she is learning to others. So it's a continuum.
Ellen?
Earlier today, I had a great conversation with someone who calls me mentor, and to listen to the delight about some things that are going well, some things to celebrate, and to just hear the joy and the delight in their voice really gives you great satisfaction.
Yeah.
And I think that for me, I love those phone calls. There are some that have some tough discussions, but by and large, when you see other people making progress in their pathway, that is what brings delight.
I just want to add one more thing. I think the joy of realizing your life that is behind you, you come with experience and wisdom that you can share and you can encourage people to get through hard times or be inspired. And I think just being able to know that your own life experience can help someone else.
Yeah.
You know, we have an audience today in which I know there are a number of people who are already mentoring, some that are thinking about it, and others that could just be encouraged to consider it. So I just want us to close with, what words of encouragement would you give to our audience? Sharon?
I'd like to leave you with a quote from Maya Angelou. In order to be a mentor and an effective one must care. You must care. You don't have to know how many square miles is in Idaho. You don't need to know the chemical makeup of blood and water. Know what you know and care about the person. Care about what you know and care about the person you're sharing it with. End of quote.
Great.
I would just add to that then, remembering Jesus when he walked on the road to Emmaus and walking after he had been raised from the dead, and yet he walked 14 miles with them before he even gave any sign of who he was, but he was talking with him and dialoguing with him. That's been a great example to me. And I think that we can do that with others.
I believe scripture informs us through narrative, but also through some direction. I particularly like Philippians chapter 2, where we're encouraged to look out not only for our own interests, but also for the interests of others. I believe that we all have something to offer. And I would say, try it.
Try it.
Be curious, ask questions, listen, and walk alongside another person and help them in their purposeful living pathway.
Thank you to each of you for
Thank you.
sharing in this time today.